you guys have done frequently in having menage a trois?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the mix up. You know what I'm saying? People hear it and think that is like a thing where it's like every day we just taking bitches down. Like that's not that. It just be those times where like we just like if we on vacation, like our anniversary, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain times where like, you know, like in the beginning I wanted to try it. Like I said, I'm Dora the Explorer. Like Bob, backpack, shorts, t-shirt, like, yeah. Like
That's not what Dora's about.
I know that's not what Dora's about, and I feel so bad.
Well, Judy just know once you start watching Dora, it's not about that.
And I feel so bad. I'm Curious George. Like I want to see
how many children's cartoons can you make sexual?
I mean, she's around it all the time now.
I get it.
But how interesting is it? Because earlier, me and my friend EJ on the way to come get you was literally just talking about how people be surprised how the woman initiates a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like I'm not poly, but like even just when everybody heard that like me and my husband had threesomes before, it was like, oh, she's willing to do that to keep a man. I'm like,
nah.
That was all me.
Yeah.
That was all me. Like, but I hate the idea of people thinking like it's always the guy that wants this, that. So she introduced you to the poly life. It's like me introducing that, you know what I'm saying, to my husband, and it's just like, yo, this is what I want to do.
I think it works better when the woman introduces you. I mean, it's the way Bumble works, right? And that's why Bumble's platform is women first.
Exactly.
That's really the way to do it to me.
Right.
If you're a heterosexual man and that.
But like, put some respect on a woman's swag. I feel like it's always like they're trying to take that away from the woman to feel like, oh, you doing it because that's what he wants. And it's like, nah,
that's
actually,
not what it is.
I run this you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's because we think men are the hunters, yo.
Right.
There are a few things that I think are true. The first thing is that in Teyana Taylor's movie that she won the Golden Globe for, in my humble opinion, she was not acting. She was playing herself. She was acting like herself in real life, hypersexual, sex symbol, and we'll get into that in this video. The second thing that is true, in my opinion, is that Teyana Taylor's former relationship with Aaron Pierre was for PR. Appropriately timed and conveniently right after her album dropped, not too long after her new movie dropped, she wins, the Golden Globe, where she was nominated, and wins. We find out that her and Aaron Pierre are no longer an item. This is very typical amongst Hollywood folks, as they often use relationships as currency to promote the products, the services, and the projects that they have. The final thing that is true here is that Teyana Taylor is incredibly talented. She can act, dance, sing, and I'm sure a myriad of other things. She produces, she writes. So in no way am I trying to take away her accolades and all that she is and all that she has accomplished. However, I do think that this conversation is one that is important. I cringed very hard when I watched Teyana Taylor's new movie. And the reason why I cringed was because of some scenes in the movie, no, not to give any spoilers, but some scenes in the movie that were reminiscent of scenes that Halle Berry did, and also reminiscent of a movie that Halle Berry did that she won an award for. I cringed because Teyana Taylor played a overly sexual, hypersexual woman who engaged with and in a sexual relationship with not only a white man, but with a racist. And not only was this cringe, and I honestly did not think the movie was going to go in that direction. I did not finish the movie because it was not what I was expecting. I also felt like Teyana Taylor wasn't even really acting that much. And I felt like that because in real life, I remembered Teyana Taylor making statements about organizing a threesome with her husband, her ex-husband, Iman Shumpert. And that's their business, right? They were married. They can do what they want to do. What I don't like is the ways in which Black women are awarded and rewarded for being overly and hypersexual. And I also don't like the ways in which Black women who are overly and hyperly sexual, how it is almost to a point where it becomes such a core part of their identity, where it almost seems like it could potentially contribute to either the demise of their relationships, the demise of their reputation, and perhaps even the demise of their career at times. So I want to talk about this, and I'm using a couple of examples, Teyana Taylor and Kandi Burruss. And I think this issue is deeper than just these women. I'm just using these women, as examples for the sake of this video. And I'm not trying to judge them. And again, both of these women were married. Whatever they did in the context of their marriage is their business, with the exception of the fact that it's not only their business because they did share it publicly. And, it's on record that both of these women were very, as Teyana Taylor said, she was the one who orchestrated the threesome with her and her ex-husband, right? As I see the things that, as Black women, the things that we are celebrated for, like winning a Golden Globe for playing a hypersexual woman, and how much does race play into it? Again, conveniently being hypersexual with a white man. As I see the things that we are rewarded for, and how that reinforces that it's okay not only to play these types of characters that perpetuate horrible stereotypes, but more importantly, that in our own lives, it is okay, many of us think it's okay to exhibit hypersexual behaviors. And also, I think that some of us believe that these overly and hypersexual behaviors will somehow save our relationships.
I'm smashing all Kandi friends if we single. I'm knocking them all down.
Kurt's 230 said threesomes never work. That's not true. I done had a threesome and it worked just fine.
Is she Ty's girlfriend? Or is she Kandi's girlfriend?
Well, ever since the news was announced, Twitter has been going wild, with sources revealing that Todd has actually been seen out in Atlanta with several other women.
Even in divorce, I don't think it's right when men be trying to take half of the women.
It could have been a scheme that Todd set up.
Will somehow give us more value, more worth as women. And I think what we see over and over is that this is just not true. No matter how many threesomes you have, no matter how many threesomes you orchestrate or organize, Kandi Burruss, who in many ways was the face of black women and sexuality some years ago. She had a sex toy line, perhaps she still does. She had a podcast about sex. She herself, there's videos out there of her, dancing and doing the splits and twerking and whatever. And again, it's less about that. It's more about how as women, we put so much stock into how sexual we are. And we're rewarded for it. We're rewarded by the media, social media, people like the videos, people, it becomes such a core part of our identity. And the sad part is that while you see these images of us, publicly engaging in all of these different types of various ways of being, extremely sexual, what's interesting is these same women will sit and do interviews about many tragic things going on in their lives, many relationships that they've lost. One being both of them recently divorced. I think Kandi's going through a divorce right now. They want people to know that they are a freak in the sheets. And what's interesting about that dynamic is that the whole freak in the sheets, really the idea there is that the woman is out in the world, I guess, poised in some type of way. And the surprise is that, but she's really this way. But what's happened nowadays is that there is no surprise. Everything is so in your face. It's so upfront and personal. And we see, this person is a freak all the time. This person leads with being a freak. This person has branded themselves, and their brand identity is being a freak, right? Again, I think the idea is that you're a lady in the streets and you're a freak in the sheets, meaning that is reserved for the freak part is supposed to be reserved for whoever you're in the sheets with. Ideally, it would be your husband, right? But that is no longer, because the freak in the sheets is also the freak in the streets. And that has been my problem for a while with Black women. I think it is one of the most underrated issues in our community. It is the issue that many of us don't see as an issue. And there are women like Sukihana and Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion and, Nicki Minaj, and the list goes on, of women who kind of market themselves as, being, overly and hypersexual. And all of those women, they all know that sex sells. And so those women are going to, play up their sexuality for the sake of money, the sake of, fulfilling what the higher ups, the machine, wants to get pushed. A lot of times, if you look at who's behind a lot of these over-sexual artists, if you look at who's behind how they're getting pushed out, in many cases, there's a white man somewhere up there. I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about a white man, some billionaire, some millionaire who's over some corporation, who handpicked this person to be the face of whatever hypersexual thing they want to push, because sex does sell. So when we think about Sexy Red, that is the story behind her, you know. But then it's interesting. It's a lot more subtle when it's Halle Berry. Okay? It's a lot more subtle when it's Teyana Taylor. It's a lot more subtle when it's Kandi Burruss. But it's still, in my opinion, the same thing. It's still the same thing in a different way. So when I saw Teyana Taylor winning this Golden Globe for her role in this new movie, where I know that she was doing some very scandalous things. Again, you can say, well, it's a movie, she was acting. I also know in real life that she has taken on a persona of being very open about how she is, you know, very sexual, and that has become part of her identity, right? And Kandi Burruss very similarly, who has made a lot of money off of, you know, not just being, you know, smart, because both of these women are smart and talented, but also being the face of Black women and sexuality, and like almost like, you know, encouraging women to be sexual, and not just to be sexual with their husbands. That's not what we're talking about. Encouraging women to kind of like indulge. Again, the sex toy line that Kandi Burruss had, maybe she still has it. All the things that, you know, she's encouraged and pushed and been the face of. And this is not, again, to shame her, but it's just to say that, you know, whether the agenda is loud, like in the case of Nicki Minaj, or whether it's soft, like in the case of Teyana Taylor or Kandi Burruss, the agenda is obvious. And so Teyana Taylor winning an award for this role, and I'm sure, in my opinion, it had a lot to do with not just the role she played, but the scene in the movie that she was in, reminiscent of Monsters Ball, where Halle Berry played a role, and there was a scene, and there was a white man involved. And white men are involved in this, because like I said, if you look at who pushes out a lot of these hypersexual artists, behind those artists or above, you can, you know, if you go to the top of the corporation, you will see a white man. And so I think this is interesting. I think it's very interesting. So I wanted to speak on this and highlight this point in case you all haven't been paying attention to it. I've been paying attention to it. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the movie. Did you see the movie that Teyana Taylor was in? What did you think about it? What do you think about Teyana Taylor winning a Golden Globe for this movie, for the scene? I'm sure it had a lot to do with the scene she was in. What are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts on years ago, even Halle Berry winning the award for Monsters Ball? Do you see a correlation? Let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. Click the links in the description box and get to know more about me and my media business, Curated Legacy LLC. I offer coaching and consulting to aspiring YouTubers who want to get started and grow their own YouTube channels. So you can go into the description box and click the link to my website to learn more about my services. I have a book on Amazon about being an invisible Black woman. I also have a store, an Amazon storefront that you can check out as well. The link for both of those things are in the description box. If you want to support my channel, you can become a channel member. The link for that is in the description box. I am on Instagram. So if you use Instagram and if you want to follow me over there, you're more than welcome to go to my Instagram page and give me a follow. I am your host, Naka, and I am here to make the invisible visible about Black women. I highlight the things that Black women typically would not tell you. And as always, stay tuned for more videos.
I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same. Love it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away. You've been gone away. I forgot your middle name. I forgot your birthday. Your favorite position. Do we still have chemistry? Yeah. Since you've been gone away. Gone away so long. Said you needed space. Said you needed more time.